Alright, so hey guys, it's me again, your girl RaiA, back again with another video.
Alright, so as you guys remember, I promised you guys that I will be providing you with the highlights of the live streams that I've recently been doing on my Facebook channel, and I will be posting it here on my YouTube channel. And for today's video, pretty much this is the highlight of the live stream that I had last Saturday, which is on the 4th of January. And this is all about how to properly build a mage and his mage on the bottom of the food chain in the game. So if you guys want to learn more information on how to build mage properly, then please stay tuned, okay? Here with your FB. And hello, shoutout by the way to Yin Yang. And good job by the way for trying. Hirap na hirap tayo kaninang onti natin, sobra. Performance ng build, the performance of the build of my CPU is good. The problem is I don't think that they've put thermal paste on the CPU, so it's kind of getting hot like really fast. So I'm trying to find a really good thermal paste. I'm not really familiar with it, so I'm getting assistance from some of my friends. So probably by the time that I get a thermal paste and all that stuff, it will be way much better. So yun, let's go back. Now, one thing that mages, the first thing pretty much that you guys should be aware, mages, same thing with ML or Mobile Legends. Mages, you guys have really strong power. You guys are known for having really OP power. And same thing pretty much with other games, not just with Mobile Legends, but any other games that you play. If you guys are handling a mage, you guys have an option to, you know, to change the build into a hybrid kind of build. So when you say hybrid kind of build, it means you can try to balance both the durability as well as the damage. However, most of the mages that I know, they kind of focus too much on, or way too much on the damage. So this is the reason why most of the mages that I know, or most of the mages pretty much that you guys might have known, or if you're using a mage, you probably heard this many times, but there's this term called glass cannon, which means your damage is quite strong, however you are so brittle, like you break as easy as glass. So masyado kayong malambot. That's the main problem. I do have this player in my server. I know you've guys seen many times Nurse Rain, right? So Nurse Rain, pretty much what I like about her build is she really manages to balance both durability as well as damage. The reason why I say that is because whenever we fight Babel, whenever we go inside Babel, she would always be number 3, number 2, number 4. She would always be on the top 5. While me, an archer, I would be on the 11th. But whenever, during the battles though, you would see me, I would really last long in the battle because I'm very durable. The problem though is I don't really have that much damage. So that's the reason why I was trying to balance my personal character to have both damage as well as durability. Kasi that's the problem with me, since I experiment so much on the hybrid. Wala ba libre na fan para sa... I actually have like around 4 fans for the CPU. The problem was, if there wasn't any term, it's a hybrid. Kumbaga, the build of my CPU was a hybrid. So, medyo magulo. Kumbaga, basta, explain ko na lang sa'yo next time, Mark. Wag sana. Wait lang, inubo tuloy ako bigla. Wait lang. Okay, and by the way, for those maybe that are not really aware about the new thing that I'm planning to do for my channel on YouTube as well as my Facebook. The Facebook Live, by the way, will be posted here on my Facebook, just so you know. And then, what I'm planning to do, guys, and that's the reason why during my explanation, it will be explained in English first, because I will be recording the part where I'm explaining how, the topic is, and that will be edited, and then that will be put on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are not, if you guys haven't really followed me or subscribed on my YouTube channel, subscribe na. Para at least, if you fail to, or if you miss my live stream and you don't know exactly what part I discussed the topic, don't worry, because the highlights of the topics that I will be posting now on my Facebook page will be edited and it will be posted on my YouTube. So Yun. But don't worry, I will be sending the link on my page, so at least hindi kayo masyadong malito. Ayun. Anyways, number one rule when it comes to building a mage. Okay, when you're starting the game, when you're level 390 or 350 and above, or below, I guess, you can start working first on your and shout out kay Sophie. You can start working first on your damage. That's fine. Okay? Damage is very important when you're just starting the game. There's no doubt about that. There's no question, even if you try to make your character's damage as strong as possible. Now, the reason why focusing on damage is okay when you're just starting the game, especially for for a mage, is because mages, since you guys rely on AoE, in order for you to get your advantage in the first part of the game, you have to be the first players to level up. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that when you're trying, when you're starting the game, especially for a mage, you can start first with damage. It's fine. You don't have to worry too much about the build when you're just starting, because in MU Origins, we don't really have what you call a twink account. Twink account, by the way, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but twink accounts are those accounts that are created for PvP with a lower level. That's actually a term that we used before in my previous game, so I don't know if it's something that we also use here on the game, but we don't really use twink accounts here, so you don't have to really worry, or you don't really have to be that bothered too much about your build when you're just starting the game. Okay, number two, so again, you can focus first on the damage so that you can keep on leveling up, because the higher your damage, the faster you can kill your mobs. And when you kill mobs way faster than normal, what will happen, guys, is it will be easier for you guys to unlock these towers. Okay? And of course, if it's easier for you to unlock towers, it means it's faster for you to level up. So you have to keep that in mind. That is very important when you're trying to build a mage. Now, number two, once you reach pretty much master level, the first thing pretty much that you guys have to worry about is, again, still keep on leveling up. Okay, so number two. So I know I'm showing an archer, but again, bear with it for the meantime. So number two, don't worry too much about leveling. Don't worry too much again about the master talent. So I guess the best way to really explain this one, let me just try to open really quick my diviner. Okay, the reason why I want to open my diviner, because I would just want to prove a point real quick about leveling up first. Why it is important to level up first, especially not just for the mage but for everybody. Now, as you guys can see, my character here, it's now 397, which is still quite low. But if you look at some of the stuff, I don't know if they've adjusted, but as you guys can see, you need to be at least Master 1 level 21 before you can open some of the stuff here, right? So, try to level up as high as you can first before you try to focus on, on doing Master Talent. So, maybe, I think now they've adjusted the level. So, I think it's just Master 1 level 50. Upon reaching Master 1 level 50, then you can start working on your Master Talent. Or if you want to level up, then go level up, because it will be, it will be so much easier for you guys to, to get more materials if your level is way higher. Or you can start focusing on your Master Talent. Again, that's up to you. But for me personally, make sure that everything first is open. Every slots that you need to open, make sure that it's open first before you start working on, on Master Talent. Now, for Master Talent, guys, this is one thing that I wanted to remind you, especially when you are a mage. Okay? When you're a mage, your Master Talent, guys, should never be Berserker. Why? Because Berserker, guys, is for damage. Okay? So, if you're a mage and you start working on Berserker as a mage, it's bad. Why? Because technically, you're leaving out your defense, your HP, as well as your inner durability build So when you start working too much on the damage, yes, you're OP, you can kill really fast. The problem is you guys are paper. Okay, so once you start working on master talent, guys, the first rule on master talent for mages is do not focus on berserker. Okay, never focus on berserker as a mage. It will mess you up big time. If you guys are wondering what should be the master talent for mages, I've talked before with a mage in server 44. There's this really OP mage. I asked him what master talent he was using, and then he said first that he was using berserk. Now, his main issue as a mage was he always dies so fast. So because of that, I told him, change your master talent to Sacred Sanctuary. Now, if you guys are wondering why Sacred Sanctuary is very good for mages, I'll tell you guys why. So, for Sacred Sanctuary, guys, one thing I like about this one is the middle part. So the middle part, as you guys can see in Sacred Sanctuary, if you're gonna try to focus on master talent, the very first one is damage resist. What you just need to do is just put 1 on this one, because this is a raw damage resist. It's good, but it's way much better if you start working on the percentage. So after putting 1 here, go straight to the next one. So the next one is damage resist. So after that, I go straight to damage absorb, and then I go to damage reduction, and then I go to counter damage. Now, my style, guys, if I was a mage, my style will probably be 1, 3, 3, 3, 2. Now, after completing this one, start focusing on leveling up first again. For the meantime, what I'm trying to say, guys, is don't focus your points again on the master talent. Go back to leveling up, because if you just keep on focusing on master talent, guys, you will be left behind on leveling up. So keep that, make sure to keep that balance as much as possible to prevent yourself from falling like way behind. Okay, right. Now next, what stats, as a mage, what stats are important for mages like you guys? So for this one, the best thing to do is I will go to the rank list, and then I'll show you guys one of the OP mages that I know. Now this one before he or she, sorry, this is May, right? I think this is May. So she was before, she was actually a BK. She was a BK before. Now there was a change class. She changed into a mage. Now you guys might be wondering, like, she was already a BK. She had every chance to change into an archer or diviner. Why did she choose to go for a mage? And I will show you guys why. She's actually one of the really OP mages that I've seen. The reason why is because she's just one of those players that I've fought with before. So, that's why I'm familiar. Now, one thing I like about her build, guys, is her HP. Now, as a mage, most of the mages that I've seen in the game, especially if their BP is around 700 below, they always forget their HP. Guys, remember, if you're a mage, even though you are relying on your damage, do not forget your HP. It's very important. It's your survivability. If you miss out on working on your HP, you will notice how fast you'll die. So no matter how high your damage is, if you cannot survive, you're useless. Okay? So, one thing I noticed again from the mages that I've seen with 700 BP and below, their HP is always around 3 million, 4 million. Guys, if you're a mage and you have 3 million, 4 million with a 700k BP, you have to remember that some archers have 5 million BP. Some BKs have 7 million BP around that time. So no matter how high your damage is, archers can easily dodge you, so your damage is useless. And if we kill you first, again, your damage is useless. So make sure to keep in mind how important your HP is. Okay? Number 2, for your attack, what should be the standard attack? What should be the standard attack for a mage? Like,
how would I know as a mage if my damage is too strong for my level or if it's too weak for my level? Now, the answers to that is, I can't really say exactly like what's the right timpla, or I don't really know what's the exact damage that you should be aiming for. But if in your level you're having a hard time killing your, if you're having a hard time killing a player with the same BP as you, it means your damage is still quite low. You can survive, but then you can't kill, your damage is too low. You have to start working on your damage. But if you fight with somebody with the same level as you, and then what happens is you can damage half of his life, but then you die first before you can even kill him, it means your HP is too low. So in order for you to really check if you got the right balance for your character, the best thing to do is to try to test fight with your guildmates. Because there's no specific, I can't really say that, oh yeah, your 700k BP, your HP should be this, your damage should be this. Unfortunately, nobody can really tell you the exact numbers. I can just give you the estimate. Again, for 700k BP and below, please make sure 700k BP, 5 million, at least 5 to 6 million is your best bet for survivability. I've seen many players with 3 million, you will never last. Okay? You will never last in a fight. Now, a lot of the players are also saying mages are useless right now because they always die. They cannot counter BKs. They're having a hard time countering archers, and with diviners having heal, it's hard to counter diviners, and MG also having AoE, it's hard to counter MG. You guys are wrong. It only means if you're having a hard time killing any of those four, it means something is wrong with your build. Okay? If your build is weak, then you can't really kill anybody. It's not because of the class that you're using. Okay? Your class does not affect how you're supposed to be building the character. It depends on how you build it. Okay? So now, for me, now another question pretty much that you guys might have in mind is, okay, let's just say I already have a good HP, I already have a good M attack. What kind of stats should I be working on? I mean, RaiA, I think my HP right now is 7 million. I think it's good. I think it's doing way much better now. So let me try to find real quick my friend here. I don't know if she is. Oh, she is. Nice. This one again, guys, this is a VIP 0 character. Okay, VIP 0, 1.2 million. Seriously OP character. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, she is at 1.2 million, RaiA. Why is her HP only around 7.4 million? Guys, do not underestimate her HP. Because when she starts fighting, she can literally kill me. Okay? And Mil, thank you so much, by the way, for the stars. Really appreciate it. So, the reason why I opened her, because most of you guys that are using, mages, you guys are not really 2 million and above. So let's start working with something that's doable for most of you guys, okay? Something, something that a lot of you guys can probably relate to. So, as you guys can see, pretty much, she's now using an AA, like an AA set. But here's the cool part about her. She's at 1.2 million. She's only using rank 6. She's only used, if I remember, oh, did she change to rank 7 already? OMG, nakalut siya, congrats! Ang galing-galing! Okay, the reason, okay, I can teach you guys how she does this. Because I know how she does this. The problem why I cannot apply it to myself is because, unlike her, I only had one device before. She is literally a pro when it comes to RPG. This is the reason why I'm so lucky to have her as my friend. So, she's now at VIP 7, R7 for the AAs, as you guys can see here. And if you guys are wondering how she managed to do this, I think what she does is, I think she looted the lucky AA. If not, she's probably just really, really lucky. That's all I can say. Masyado siya kasi, ito kasing player na to, guys. I think the last time I opened her character, I was shocked. She had 3k diamonds. And then I asked her, how did you manage to get 3k diamonds? And then she said, I'd go Lost Tower. And I was like, okay, you go Lost Tower. And then I never opened my loot. And then I sell my loot. And I was like, what the heck? You sell all your loot? And then she said, yeah, I sell all my loot. And I was like, then what do you use for your character? And then she said, then I buy what I need for my character. And I was like, okay, that's smart. That's really smart. Because, you know, she makes sure that she manages her materials, like all her loots, every time. So that's why she always have enough gold for herself. And then, you know, she will always have enough resources for her character. So, of course, everybody knows already, like, what's the stats of this one. Now, let me try to check the stats of her normal gears. So, as you guys can see, she hasn't really changed to Excellent Strike. Unlike most of us, or even me personally, I haven't really changed my gears yet because it's not that easy to farm on my server, and she's my guildmate. So for my guildmates or my server mates here, if you're not world peace, you guys know the struggle. So, but some of her gears are really, really good. Some of her gears are really, really OP. And if you notice carefully on how she builds her character, she really focuses on her damage. However, she makes sure that her HP is well balanced. So if you look at her gear, if you check her gears right now, you would see even her appending is max mostly on her damage, you know, on the damage gears, like the staff, the necklace, the rings. It's all 95. It's all, yeah, it's all 95 here and then 80 here. But then when you look at the other gears, the appending level here is just like around 56, 65, you know, so on and so forth. So it's not really that high. But then she still, as you guys can see, she still manages to get really good HP. So if I'm gonna guess, I already know where it is, but if I'm gonna guess where she pulls this one up, it's probably either her skin, or she probably, yeah, probably it's skin. It's always skin. So I was really proud of her because for the longest time, she was really struggling to be in the top 50. She was really struggling to be in the top 50, and then I wasn't active, you know, in the chats or checking my guildmates and all that stuff. And the next thing I know was like, she's already in the top 50. So kudos, you know, kudos for Nurse RaiA. Now, next thing pretty much that you guys need to be familiar with, especially for your build, like, how can you make your character durable, especially for a mage? Now, for mages, guys, since it's not really that easy to pull up your HP, if you compare yourself with other players or with other characters, the most easiest character to get really, really good HP, guys, is the BKs. That's the reason why I feel very, very pissed off whenever I see a BK with a very low HP. I'm like, you guys have it easy for the HP. What the heck are you doing, right? But for, you know, for mages, it's not really that easy for them. So if I remember correctly, the damage absorbed, I think, for Nurse RaiA is almost the same as my level. Her damage bonus, though, is a little bit lower. It's only around 304.1%. But if you compare her damage over mine, her damage is way better because her physical attack is way higher than mine. So even though my multiplier, which is 346.1%, is higher than 304%, the reason why her damage is way better is simply because her base attack is higher. So if your base is higher, of course, this is what it multiplies. So this is where she gets that damage. And the reason why I don't really want to get that much damage is because I'm prone to getting gank because I don't move that much. For an archer, that's stupid, by the way. Don't follow what I'm doing. But you know, since I don't move that much, I'm very, very prone to getting killed by counter damage. So that's the reason why I limit myself from increasing my physical attack, and I find a way to increase my attack somewhere else. Now again, going back to mages. So The damage bonus, by the way, upon reaching 1 million, or if you reach first 700k BP or 600k BP, make sure that when you reach 600k BP, your damage absorbed should be around 110 for 600k, and then around 130 when you're 700, 800k. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, that's not high enough, RaiA, for a 700k BP. What I'm saying is you have to make sure that it's around that high. Because some of the mages that I've seen, they have way worse. I've seen a mage before, I've seen a stat before with like 90k damage absorbed, and I was like, dude, what the heck are you doing? You know? Walang ilag-ilag. That's how I play. That's the reason why even if whenever my guildmates see me, or whenever my enemies see me, my enemies would actually remind me, RaiA, move. You have dodge for a reason. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll play how I play. You know, don't worry too much about it. Now, again, going back for mages, guys, I will put this out there, but it's up to you guys on how you're gonna work on doing that. But if a mage can manage to pull this one up, you guys are the most deadly. Okay, armor penetration, by the way, decreases, or it kind of ignores the enemy's defense. If a mage with a high armor penetration, if you guys have a high armor penetration, you guys are very, very deadly, because this armor penetration will apply to everything that you have. But how will you increase that? I'll tell you guys next time. I can't really say that today, so next time. Okay, next time. Now, next, counter damage. Is counter damage important for mages? Again, counter damage, guys, there's a reason why it's limited. Okay, there's a reason why it's limited to maybe around 20%, 25% at max. But the reason why it's limited, because it's just an extra stats. If you focus on increasing on your counter damage, you might end up sacrificing a lot of other stuff. So make sure, you know, you keep it high, but not high enough that you sacrifice your other stats. Okay? Because counter damage is counter damage. It's just something that gets triggered when somebody attacks you. It's a form of defense. It's a defense offense that you're not supposed to be focusing too much on. The reason why you shouldn't focus too much on it, the reason why some players have really, really OP counter damage is simply because of the spirit that they are using. So if you're trying to aim in making your counter damage super high, there's a high chance that you might sacrifice on stats that you actually need. So don't get frustrated if your counter damage is not so high. As long as there's counter damage there, you're Gucci. It means regardless if it's just 5%, 7%, 8%, 3%, it's still a percentage. That means it can still be triggered when somebody attacks you. So don't ever get frustrated if you cannot increase it too much, especially for mages. Don't worry too much, because we will talk about spirits in a bit. Now next, Excellent Strike. Is Excellent Strike good for mages? Yes, it is. It's Excellent Strike. There's a reason why Excellent Strike is available for mages, for archers, for diviners, for MG, for BKs, because it's good for everyone. Okay, it's not just good for archers, it's not just good for BKs or diviners, it's also good for, you know, for mages. So don't underestimate the power of Excellent Strike, because I've seen a lot of players focusing way too much on double damage and then forgetting how OP Excellent Strike. Now, I've mentioned this one before, but I'll mention this again on this stream. Excellent Strike, the reason why it's OP, even though that this is just a trigger, this percentage that you see on Excellent Strike is just a trigger. For example, when you're doing your normal attack, if you see that my Excellent Strike is 84.7%, it means that 84.7% of the times that I am fighting or doing my normal skills and normal attack, there's an 84.7 chance that my Excellent Strike will get triggered during the fight. Now, Excellent Strike is 120% of your actual attack. Okay, so when it gets triggered, you know, your normal attack is multiplied to 120%. So if you have, let's just say 1 million for attack damage, you know, if Excellent Strike gets triggered, it means you now have 1.2, you know, 1.2 million damage on your enemy. So that's how Excellent Strike works. Now, I'll get back to you why it's OP. Now, let me go ahead and explain double damage. Double damage, guys. Double damage, again, this is just a trigger. Now, it means whenever I'm doing my normal attack or normal skills, there's a 36.9% chance that my double damage can be triggered and it might appear, you know, in battle. That's the red, you know, that's the red damage that you guys can see. Now, what does double damage do? You know, come on, obvious on the name, double damage means 200%. So if your damage is 1 million, and then you attack, and then double damage is triggered, it means your 1 million will become 2 million. Okay? And that's the damage that your enemies can get from double damage. Now, next, again, these are triggers, okay? Even if this is 5%, it's still a trigger. Of course, having it higher is better because it means there's a much better chance that it will keep on appearing while you're fighting. But don't focus too much on this one because this is not really the one that kills them. I'll tell you guys how to improve your damage on this one. Now, next, of course, this is very important, damage reduction and damage resist. Now, damage absorb, again, it helps you guys survive because it absorbs the damage that, you know, it absorbs the damage of your enemies. But damage reduction can reduce some of the damage that comes from your enemy's attack. And then damage resist can block some of the, you know, some of the damage that comes from your enemies. Hi, Balanar. Now, this three, the armor, sorry, the damage absorb, damage reduce, damage resist, they work together. So if you miss, you know, if you miss out on any of them, if you make one of them really, really low, it can really affect your HP. It can really affect your survivability in a fight. So if you have a high damage resist, then that means you have a higher chance. You have a higher chance to block some of the, you know, some of the attacks coming from your enemies. If your damage reduction is 72.9%, it doesn't mean that you are excused to have 8% damage resist. 8% damage resist, guys, will not do anything for you, okay? Make sure to increase that as much as possible. Next, ignore defense. Now, is ignore defense very important for, you know, for mages? Actually, yes and no. It's both. It's an indicator of how much it gets triggered in your fight. So the higher your ignore defense percentage, higher your excellent strike double damage, it means that's how much chances you will see that in a fight. So for example, I've shown this one before, but for example, I'm not fighting right now, right? Let's try to kill some mobs. Okay. Okay, kunyari dito, yan. Now, I'm just gonna do normal attack. So as you guys can see, since my excellent strike is high, my one attack, you guys can see that my excellent strike gets triggered so many times, right? Now, of course, if I start to go on auto battle and I'm doing much more skills than ever, you guys will end up seeing that I will have ignore defense, ignore defense, I have excellent strike. Every now and then you might see my double damage, but I never really care. So those are the triggers, okay? Those are the triggers. Now, having a high ignore defense doesn't really give you a guarantee that your damage will be strong, okay? Ignore defense, what it does is it will probably attack, you know, the damage that you're gonna do to your enemy is probably similar to physical attack. But the only difference is it has the ability, you know, ignore defense has that ability to ignore the defense of your enemy. So meaning, for example, if you have, let's just say for example, you have 1 million damage, and then your enemy, let's just say, have a really, really high damage resist. Now, and damage resist, damage reduction, and then damage absorb. So your 1 million, when it gets, you know, when it hits your enemy, there's a chance that one of your attack can be blocked. That's probably because of their damage resist. Your next attack will probably be reduced maybe to just 600k, 700k, depending on how high the damage reduction is. And then it can also be absorbed depending on how high the damage absorb of your enemy is. So when you're hit, you know, when your attack hits your enemy, I mean, it can also be absorbed. So technically, your 1 million can just be 200k once it hits your enemies. So that's how important those three, stats is. It's very, very important. Okay. Now next, ignore defense. What it does is, since this one ignores the defense of your enemy, because this is another one, the defense. So if it says here 325 to 344, let's just say I have 600 damage, it means once it hits my enemy, the chances are the damage of 600k is only 300k once it reaches my enemy. With ignore defense, it can push through. It will ignore the defense of your enemy. That's why it seems that your normal ignore defense is strong. It's not. It just ignores the enemy's defense. Okay? And that's the reason why this is important. I'm not gonna say it, I'm just gonna point. Anyway, next. Lifesteal on hit. Is it important for mages? Well, for lower master level, lower level, it doesn't really matter if you have a high lifesteal on hit. It's not really that easy to increase when you're still building up on other stats. It's not really number one, it's not really included in the priority list. You can increase it by refining your gears, but you'll probably need this by the time that you reach maybe Master 5, Master 6, or the higher Master level. When you've already have good stats on the other hidden stats. Get it? Just don't focus too much on things that it is important, but just don't sacrifice your other stats for this one for now. Okay? Now next, Lucky Resist. Nobody really care about Lucky Strike. I never even introduced that, so let's just skip that one. You guys might be wondering why I hate Lucky Strike so much. It's simply because it's just there. I never really cared too much about it. It's not really that OP. Now, of course, these resists are very important. The excellent resist, the double resist, what else? Lucky resist. These things, by the way, they are important because when you have high resist like this, for example, I have 84.7% excellent strike and then my resist is 79.3%. It means that when my enemy's attack hits me, there's a 79.3% chance that it will not hit me and it will be blocked because of my excellent resist. So this is way important. Okay? Now next, hit bonus. I haven't really checked the calculation for hit bonus, but I'm probably guessing that this plays a huge factor when it comes to countering also the resist, but I'll check into that next time. Okay, I'll get back to you guys on that one. Now, Excellency Bonus, guys. My Excellency Bonus is quite low at the moment, sadly, but this one is very important because this acts as a multiplier for the damage that you have for Excellent Strike. So that's the reason why some mages, they don't really find Excellent Strike as OP, because it only means that your Excellency Bonus is not that high. Excellency Bonus works like this, okay? So let's just say you have 120% damage when your Excellent Strike gets triggered. If your Excellency Bonus is high, on top of that 120%, you will also get additional percentage coming from the Excellency Bonus. So seeing that I have 43.1%, it means that my overall Excellency Strike bonus will probably be around 163.1%, which is quite high. So if I have 1 million damage, and then my Excellent Strike gets triggered, it means that instead of my enemy only receiving 1 million damage from me, from the Excellent Strike, it will become 1.6 million damage, which is quite strong. Okay? So that's how that works. Now, damage penetration. As a mage, is this important? Well, yes, of course, it's very important for mages because you guys are known for your damage. I'm not saying that if I say you're known for your damage, you forget your durability. But of course, you keep it balanced, but you make sure also that your damage is high. Okay, so yes, damage penetration is important because the damage penetration counters damage reduction. Now, of course, when you're trying to fight a BK, you're trying to fight an archer, not all archers are built with very strong defense. We're quite paper, to be honest. You guys might end up fighting an archer with a very durable build, but it doesn't mean that you as a mage are weak. I don't know if you guys have seen my streams before, but one of my most hated characters and one of the characters I truly avoid were mages, because mages can literally kill. And you guys can literally destroy an archer. You just have to know when, when to attack or when to use that specific skill. Especially your teleport, guys, mages. If we dodge, you guys can teleport. You're the only one that can do that. Well, of course, BKs can dash, but since they are close range, they are close range fighters, sometimes we can still avoid them if we have anti-stun and all that stuff. But for mages, you guys have teleport, and then you guys have AoE. You guys have a better AoE. It means if you teleport and then we try to run away and then you try to attack, your area of effect can literally destroy us. So this is the reason why you have to make sure that your balance is built well. You have to make sure that the balance for your durability is high, but at the same time you don't sacrifice your damage. But if you make your damage high, make sure that you never sacrifice your durability. So that's how technically you build a mage. And you guys are not in the bottom of the food chain. You guys are just overreacting.
And that is it pretty much for my video. I'm really sorry, by the way, if it took longer than I expected. I tried to put them all inside that live stream, all the important stuff. But thank you guys so much again for tuning in. If you have questions, just drop them on the comment box down below. Really appreciate your time, and see you guys again in my next video. Peace out. XOXO. RaiA.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.